Did I ever tell y'all about the time that we lost almost $100,000 due to appraisal bias? 2021, my husband and I, we sold our home and we went under contract to buy a home in an affluent neighborhood. This home was lovely, however, it was a little dirty. And back in 2021, homes were jumping off the market. Our house is in a gated community that's very well known and highly desirable. However, this house had been on the market for over 100 days when we found it. I come into the house, I'm a real estate professional, and I'm like, well, it needs a little bit of work, maybe just replace the flooring. But other than that, this house is perfection. I also look at what it's listed at. They had lowered the price so much that this home was a steal. I checked the comps. I knew that this house was worth at least $800,000 or more. We go under contract. The appraiser comes out, appraises the home, sends the appraisal back. I look at the appraisal. He's got houses that aren't even in our community on the appraisal. Not the 3 houses on the same street in my same neighborhood, comparable size. Not those homes. He didn't include those homes. Some of those homes that had less bedrooms than my home, and none of them sold for less than $850,000. Instead, he wrote an appraisal for $744,000, which coincidentally is exactly what our contract was written for. But remember, we knew we were getting a deal, so the value of the home should have been higher. I call the appraiser and I say, hi, I'm the realtor on the property that you just appraised, and I just wanted to talk to you about the cut me off. And he said, how much was your contract for? I said $744,000. He said, and so how much did I write your appraisal for? $744,000. So why are you calling me? I don't care what you have to say. You're not my client. And that is how our conversation went. It was very aggressive. So I get off the phone with him and I am just floored. And I could not believe that he was actually defending himself when there are homes 2 doors down, 4 doors down that were smaller than mine and appraised for more. And he tried to tell me he couldn't include them because mine's a 5-bedroom and that one's a 4-bed. Like making up nonsense. So then I call my lender and I start submitting complaints. Boom, 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 boom. Every place that I could think of to submit a complaint against the appraiser and the company that he works for. Now you might say, Nicole, how do you know that this was appraisal bias due to racism? I'm a real estate professional. My name is on the contract. My name is on the contract as the buyer. We have a very unique last name. You can easily Google us and you would see exactly who we are and what we look like. And also the way in which they handled this was so aggressive and so egregious that it was very clear that this was some type of bias that was being applied. By the time I finished with all of my complaints, him and his manager were calling me, apologizing, asking if they could come back and do another appraisal. But here's the thing that people don't talk about. A lot of times when we're in this process, you have a closing date and your appraisal might be a few days before closing. You don't necessarily have the time for someone to come back out, for you to wait again, for them to do another appraisal. And this is why this is so dangerous. Now you say, Nicole, you could close on your property. What's the problem? Here's the problem. We sold our house and our intention was take all of those proceeds and put it down on this house so that we could avoid having to pay private mortgage insurance, which means we have to own at least 20% of the value of the home. So if he had appraised the house the way he was supposed to, we wouldn't have to put down so much money to get to 20%. We ended up putting down over $150,000 on this house and we still didn't hit the number that we needed to, but we would have if he appraised it appropriately. And this is why appraisal bias is one of the most insidious forms of stealing wealth from people of color or marginalized groups. And if I wasn't a realtor, I wouldn't even know what to do. Now, my appraisal did not get changed. We proceeded with closing, and I knew that I could do my complaints. I knew that we could get another appraisal. I could present that to the bank and that they could remove the private mortgage insurance, which is exactly what we did. We moved into that house. We painted and we changed the floors. Had another appraiser come out. How much do you think my house appraised for? $1,050,000. That is the cost of appraisal bias. So I'm happy to read this. This is great. However, this is just for FHA. So this is going to be our first-time home buyers, our entry-level homes in my area that are under a certain amount. Those of us who are still getting loans at higher amounts, we still need some help. Bye, y'all.